Hello, everyone. I am here to do a little education on cryptocurrency in general and also how TNNS is moving forward and where we're at right now. So, an introduction of myself. My name is Lisa Faulkner. I was a women's basketball player. I played Division One basketball at UC Irvine. I ended up transferring to an NAIA school in Southern California. I played briefly professionally in Hungary and Romania, and after that, have spent 16 years coaching women's basketball at all levels here in the United States, from NAIA all the way up to the ACC at Boston College. And I spent the last 5 years as the head women's basketball coach at Point Loma Nazarene University in San Diego. All that to be said, I just want you guys to know that I understand where you're at as athletes and how hard it can be financially to pay your bills or, even have a decent meal. Um, going into my crypto story, March of 2020, when everything got shut down and wasn't able to coach in the capacity that I've been used to, I started studying financial markets and crypto specifically because I could see where the world of finance was going just as we were printing money to infinity and really there was no backing and we were going sort of into this inflationary period where the dollar had less value. As I researched, I started investing in really good, solid, fundamental cryptocurrencies and have gained so much knowledge, become really an expert in what crypto is and how it works, and have become financially free because of that. I will never have to worry about money again, and that's a huge, huge thing, and it's something that I want to help our athletes with and our club organizations that we are partnering with is how can we utilize really a brand new asset class to be able to become free. Freedom is really the ability to do what we want when we want for however long we want, and I think crypto can play a huge role in that. So to start, what is cryptocurrency? I know that people have a different level of knowledge, and I just want to simplify as best we can. Really, cryptocurrency it's a digital asset, and we're able to transact via computer, via our mobile devices. It runs on blockchain or technology, which really is just a way of saying that we are able to, it's a digital ledger, is what it is. And so crypto it can be not only a form of payment, but it also can be the platform at which payment is run on. And really, is the bare bones of crypto because it actually is a lot more than that. It is a brand new technology, really a next generational internet where we can store and and transact in a way that is far beyond what we have been doing in a very, very secure fashion. Where do we buy, sell, and hold crypto? So there's a difference between an exchange and a wallet. And right now, TNNS is working on getting on a centralized exchange. So those that are very, very familiar, especially in the United States, are Coinbase, Binance, Crypto.com. Binance, of course, is worldwide. It's the number one exchange. It's actually what we run TNNS on in terms of blockchain. We're running it on Binance Smart Chain. So this is where you kind of onboard and offboard with our traditional government currencies like the US dollar or the euro. You're able to go onto a Coinbase or a Binance to purchase cryptocurrencies. You can also hold them on there, but that would be like holding your money in a bank, really. It actually is being lent out by the exchange. So the safest place to hold your cryptocurrency would be a wallet, just like you would with your cash. You have it on hand, or your gold or your silver, you would put it in a safe. So a crypto wallet, where it is, again, just a place to store it and where you actually own your private keys to that currency. Trust Wallet is what we're using for TNNS. So all of you all must have set up Trust Wallets, and that's where your TNNS will be held. Now, in order to either buy more or sell it, it would need to be on an exchange. And again, that is something that we are in discussions with. Why does it have value? This is a big question that people ask, and it gets a little bit confusing because this is no longer traditional finance where we can have a cash flow sheet and see where companies are making money. Really, crypto is the biggest value it has is the power is with the individuals, and we determine what has value. There's no longer an intermediary, a bank deciding what has value. And I think one of the best examples I can give, where you can see people have tremendous impact on markets is January of this year. There was a Reddit group that came in, and they decided to they wanted to take out some of the hedge funds that were shorting stocks. And so this became very mainstream and in the media. GameStop, they bought up GameStop, and they pumped it on Reddit, and they got it on social media. And as people heard about it, they started buying more and holding on. And as they did that, the value of GameStop went up tremendously. It went from a company that was valued on the stock market, I think probably around $5 or something like that, and went over $300. And I still think it's actually trading on the stock market at a pretty high price. So we can see how people can influence markets and are able to gain value. And again, with TNNS, is you have it, you hang on to it. It not only can be used as currency or money in the way that we traditionally use it, where we buy goods and services, it also becomes an investment. So it really is investing in a company. The other reason that crypto has value is scarcity. So the biggest and most well-known crypto out there is Bitcoin. It's the original. It's our Nike of cryptocurrency. It's the name brand for sure. A lot of people call it digital gold. There's only 21 million Bitcoins that were ever created and will ever be in existence. So as people buy Bitcoin and they hang on to it, the value goes up. To be honest, Bitcoin's technology, the blockchain is outdated. To me, it's like when we talk about the internet, we'll say AOL versus really a third generational cryptocurrency, which would be more like Wi-Fi. So it's slow, it has fees, but it also is now trading around $62,000 for one token. And the reason behind that is there's just not that many out there, and people are hanging on to them. TNNS, we only have 30 billion tokens that are made, that will ever be made. Again, so we have a fixed supply, and over 99% of those are actually locked away right now. So there's only really 100 million, I think, that are in circulation. So again, we have some scarcity with TNNS. You've been gifted TNNS well, not just gifted, your name, your likeness, your image, your ability to be productive in the sporting world, the things that you give to the world energetically have allowed you to be paid in TNNS. And now, as you hang on to that, it will increase in value versus, again, like a US dollar right now that is deflating. Utility versus meme. So one of the things that is incredibly popular, and I'm sure all over TikTok and all our little social media platforms, is Shiba just went up tremendously, especially over the last couple of weeks, and Doge. Those are what we call meme coins. In the crypto space, they also like to say shit coins. So it just basically means they don't have any real world purpose. There's nothing that they can be used for. And really the only reason that price is being driven up is because of influencers. When we talk about Doge, Elon Musk has a huge part in that. He'll send out a tweet, and then that'll drive the price up. But it doesn't really have any value whatsoever because it doesn't do anything in our ecosystem. Versus a utility token, TNNS is a utility token, so we solve real world problems and we can provide goods and services. Our real world problem that we're solving is athletes not being paid enough, or what they should be being paid for the energy that they're putting out. And so we're supplementing income with TNNS. But along with that, we also have utility within virtual reality gaming that we're developing, and the ability to provide goods and services or discounts on merchandise, also partnering with stadiums and tournaments and events where TNNS can be used for different goods or even for tickets to get into an event. So that would be our utility versus meme. All right, so what does this mean for our athletes? What does this mean for holders of TNNS? What it essentially means is that your talents, your name, your image, your likeness, and your public presence has value. Again, currency is just simply an exchange of energy. If we went back to the beginning of time, we would have trade between people that were needing milk and a goat or something like that. And what did they decide to do? They had to come up with a way to make that trade possible. And so we used gold and silver at the time, and then now we've transitioned to printed dollars, greenbacks as they call them, and now we're shifting into this completely digital world where cryptocurrency is going to be a huge part of that, and really the brand new way of transacting. So as you go out and you promote and you become great at your sport, you get paid in TNNS, and then it will be able to be used in real world. But also it's an asset that that is appreciating, and so it makes sense to hang on to it as it will gain tremendous value. TNNS, the future of blockchain and cryptocurrency, we see this coming very quickly. Just yesterday, for instance, Facebook changed its stock sticker to Meta. Why did they do that? They did that because they're going to create a whole metaverse. And so virtual reality is a huge part of what TNNS is doing. Like I said, we're creating a whole gaming world, and the token will be able to be used within that world. NFTs have become incredibly popular as well. It's a way for artists and musicians to be able to be paid and not have label or record labels and those sorts of things be the middleman. It really, you're getting paid for your work. Same thing with athletes. We're going to be able to capture really special moments that you have, whether it be a game-winning shot or just an amazing play or whatever it is. We can capture that, put it on the blockchain, and be able to auction that off on the blockchain and on our platform, where you're going to be able to get royalties on that, and TNNS token will be able to be used in that. And then, of course, contactless payment. As our world has shifted, we've had the coronavirus, people are using cash less. Not, even now we use credit cards and Venmo and PayPal. Well, cryptocurrency is a much faster and safer way to do these contactless payments. Some common terms that you're going to hear in the crypto world. Now you are in the crypto world, you hold TNNS. One of them would be HODL, and this is what I suggest for TNNS and for most fundamental cryptocurrencies. This means hold on for dear life. You're going to see some swings in price. That's just how this world works, and it's very violent. It's not like traditional finance and stock market where you get 1 or 2% gains and losses. You can see 15 to 20% gains and losses, and I would just say don't freak out about that. As we move to go on to a centralized exchange with TNNS, you could see a price start at 50 cents and it goes up to 80 cents. That doesn't mean to sell it. It doesn't mean yes, I'm rich. Or you could see a price go from 50 cents to 20 cents. Again, that doesn't mean to sell it, and now I'm poor in TNNS. Yeah. a wonderful strategy is to hang on to this thing as we're in the inception of this new world, this new technology, and think about an Amazon. When Amazon first came on the stock market in 1997, I think it was valued at around $14. It had some major swings up. And I think in 2000, it went over $200. In 2001, it had a major swing down and went down, maybe down, and I'm not 100% on this, but I think it might have went down back down to $20. Would you have sold your Amazon knowing what we know now? Heck no. Heck no. That purchase in Amazon is incredibly valuable, and I think that as we look at TNNS, it's the same type of thing. We are going to have tremendous value. So hang on to this. Make sure that we're making wise decisions because there is incredible value. FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This happens a lot with the media. You'll hear things like crypto's not safe or it's not energy efficient. And really, this is just creating fear in the market and getting what our people that are retail, are just like ourselves, normal, everyday investors, trying to get them to sell out of the market. And a lot of times what happens in that is big time investors come in and they buy up these cryptos at much cheaper prices. And then the price goes back up again. And we're like, oh no, we shouldn't have sold. So fear, uncertainty, and doubt, don't worry about it. To the moon, that's a sudden dramatic price increase. That's what we just saw with Shiba, what we just saw with Doge actually yesterday. There's these huge price swings, like I said. ROI, return on investment. Again, this is you're putting in sweat equity with performing in athletics and getting TNNS in return. You're going to get a huge ROI. The price will definitely go up. And again, with all fundamental cryptos that we're seeing that. And then fiat currency is just your own government currency, whether it's a dollar or a euro or whatever country that you're in. Those are currencies really with no commodity backing. So those would be our common terms. My strategy personally, again, I am financially free, is I purchased in some of the top cryptos in terms of utility. I have not sold any of them into fiat currency. I hang on to them because I know how valuable they are. And, we can discuss strategy in terms of, hey, I really need to be able to purchase, food or whatever it is. I know, like I said, I can understand that you guys are hardworking athletes that are struggling in some ways financially to make it, and I'm here to educate and help in any way that I can with just strategy. I'm not a financial advisor, but from experience, I've learned how to kind of navigate this market in a really effective and efficient way, and so I could definitely answer some questions with that. So, John, I think we might have some questions, and I'll be able to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Lisa, thank you for that presentation. And like Lisa just mentioned, she will always be available by email, as am I, Lisa at tnns.pro. My email is Jon at tnns.pro for any specific individual questions you all may have. So Lisa, I'll just run through some questions that I've been frequently asked. And I think the big one at the moment is, when will TNNS be on an exchange?
Yep. We are currently talking with centralized exchanges, and we're very hopeful to get something done here November, December. We're looking at that timeline, and also kind of going through our last auditing process to make sure that everything's ready to go once we hit that exchange.
What is the expected value once it hits the exchange?
We are currently valued around 50 cents. And I think that's what we can expect to see. But just like I said during the presentation, those prices can dramatically shift, especially as they go onto an exchange and the crypto market starts trading. So you can see something, if it goes on at 50, it could dramatically bump up to even $1. But that's where we're at right now.
You definitely cover this in your presentation, but perhaps it's worth covering one more time. Should I sell once it's listed and live on the exchange?
No, and I think it's really important for those that have been given TNNS to understand that you are a part of the ecosystem. Think of it when we talk about traditional finance, think of it as a shareholder in stock. So you are part owner and understand you have insider information on where we're going and what we're doing. And not only that, you play a part in that and how you promote it on social media and how you talk about it with your friends and your family, again, which creates massive, massive value. And so if it hits an exchange and everybody's like, hey, I want to take my 10,000 tokens or however many tokens you have and you sell them, that will have a dramatic impact on what happens to the price of TNNS. It will devalue the token. So again, we talk about scarcity. As you hang on to these, the price goes up. So no, try not to sell. And again, we can talk about strategy if there is a necessity to have some fiat cash.
And Lisa, that's a great point. And for those athletes and agents, managers, clubs that have been signing contracts more recently, that's why you may see some locking provision in the contract as the company asks you to hold a certain percentage, just so we're not all adversely affecting the company and its current holders, especially with that 99% lock.
Yep.
You mentioned briefly the centralized exchange. Can you just briefly talk about the difference between a decentralized exchange and a centralized exchange?
Yes. Decentralized is completely peer to peer. So there's no governing entity that is controlling what's happening on a decentralized exchange. This is why you can see really massive spikes in price, and there definitely could be some manipulation happening within a decentralized exchange. When you go onto a centralized exchange, there is a governing body there, so it is a much safer way to to for traders, and also just less manipulation can happen on a centralized exchange, and that's why we're trying to get on centralized. And also the ability to purchase with fiat cash. So decentralized exchanges, you're going to have to use crypto to do that.
Right. Can you discuss a little bit about the effect on TNNS that the growth of BNB will have, and also the growth of the general crypto market?
Yes, like I said, we run on the Binance Smart Chain. Binance that they have their own token, which is Binance token. They have their own blockchain, and they also are an exchange. So a huge, huge player in the crypto world. Actually, probably the number one player in the crypto world. And as the value of TNNS, Binance for sure is going to go up in price. It was at the token itself was at $700 in May. It's since dipped down. I think it went down all the way down to 300 and something. Now it's back up to 500. But as Binance increases, that will have a positive impact on TNNS as well, because a lot of our liquidity is paired with Binance. So you're going to see some really, really positive things, especially towards the end of the year here as the crypto market goes through cycles, just like any other financial cycle. And we're going into a really big bull cycle right now.
And I think that's why Nick and Solak were so purposeful, the two co-founders, about timing up the listing of TNNS. I agree, Lisa, that we're looking at a really great time for TNNS.
Yes.
Last question I've got, what can we all do between now and the time of the listing to prepare ourselves best? Are there apps to download, resources online, articles to read, things like that?
Yeah, one of my favorites, there's something called CoinGecko. It's an app where you can see prices and also gives you information on all different cryptocurrencies. So I think, not like I said, knowledge is power. So the more informed you can be of just the whole market in general, then you have an idea of what TNNS is working with, with blockchain. So I also can pull up just different research articles and ways to find information as people get more curious about this. I get questions all the time. Of course, I'm available to answer any questions via email and help in any way that I can. This is something I'm incredibly passionate about. I've done a lot of research, thousands and thousands of hours that's got me to this point. And I know that a lot of athletes don't have that amount of time. And so if I can simplify it in the best way possible and kind of point you in the right direction, I would love to do that.
Well, thank you, Lisa. And we'll continue to be a resource, and we'll do these educational sessions with Lisa at least once a month. We'll record them all to send out to those of you who can't, who aren't available to listen the day of. We'll have a little library of these classes, and we'll just keep progressing forward and covering new topics. Our next one will be at the end of November. I'll send out email reminders and everything like that. But in the meantime, if you all have questions, please feel free to reach out to us directly. And Lisa, thank you again
Thank you.
for the presentation.
Yep.
Talk to everyone soon.